Hey there, Bob Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Ticking down to the new year. Tell me about it in the comments. So today we're going to talk about compost tea. We talk a lot about compost tea and how important it is, but we talk about it a lot, I think, in a philosophical of how amazing it is and kind of the idea of it, but not the basics of how to do it. And today's video, I think, is very helpful with those basics. It's talking about an air stone. Which air stone to use, how to pick a good air stone. And it's just a little thing about that, but compost tea is so important. I think this clip is important. I'd like you to watch it. I'll talk to you after.
Southwest Hessian. Hey there, Bob and Scott. What would be your budget recommendation for an air pump for compost tea? And what would you use to deal with root rot? Okay, let's just go with that. So there's no cheap or expensive air pumps. They're just air pumps. Am I right about that?
No, I mean, aren't there like super expensive, crazy, fancy ones now in the
There's
industry?
$26 bottles of water, but I mean, if you go
the
to
Aero Mixer is probably like a higher end. It's an air pump and a water pump.
Yeah, because it actually creates an air vortex in there, which will be your higher end pump. Honestly, the downfall of air pumps is that if you just have a cheap little air pump and a 5-gallon bucket, you've got this one channel of air. And you need agitation, rotation, and aeration. So, you know, if you're going to go with the cheapest air stones, then you've got to buy a cheap aquarium pump to circulate that while they're actually germinating.
So what would you say is the minimum good air pump?
For most people, like a 500 GPH is like for like a 5-gallon up to maybe like a 30-gallon. If you're wanting something bigger, like 55, probably like the 1700 is, and then multi-outlet is what it comes with. But you could hook it up to just one big giant stone or multiple little ones. So
they'll sell like diffuser stones or a whole bunch of little diffuser stones that you can pocket the whole thing with a bunch of little stones that are all creating that same air.
So Alibaba, Amazon, the pet store, I mean, can you get this thing anywhere? I mean, any kind of, you just get, there's no special one, but you want to get a spec.
Yeah.
500
We carry, I think, Eco Plus here, and we can always do a mail order for you.
Okay, so someone can call you.
Yeah. Okay. We can get you sized up based on the container.
Send an email and they'll get more specific with your
So
size.
you do need a decent one, but you don't need an amazing one, and you don't want to get a crappy one. Okay.
Well, and if you don't have good air, then you're not growing good microbes. And if you're not growing good microbes, hey, good boy! If you don't grow good microbes, then you're growing bad microbes, and that can usually cause problems.
And how much does something like that cost?
Ooh, inflation. I'm gonna I'd have to look it up. Which
is it $10 or $200?
For a good size one, probably about 30 to 40 nowadays. For like a good 5-gallon.
So it's a little one. It's not nothing.
The big commercial ones now are over $100.
Oh yeah,
so
well, the compost tea brewers, I mean, you're in the thousands now because there's proof that works. So go online and find a lot of DIY compost tea people, but don't. I mean, an air stone in a bucket, I don't care who you think you are, it's not brewing a good diverse tea. You're brewing a bacteria, maybe one or two, versus if you have that aeration and you got the circulation and everything's diffused just right, you can really grow amazing things in compost teas.
So what am I seeing? Does it look like I'm making pasta? It's bubbling like a ton, or is there like a little bloop, bloop, bloop?
Well, the smaller the air bubbles, the more diffused oxygen you're going to get in solution, which means more bacteria and beneficial fungi are going to survive inside that.
So if I got the right one, I'm seeing bubbles coming up.
Yeah,
it's noticeable.
Jacuzzi tubbing, but not big bubbles, fine bubbles.
Okay,
what do you think of that? Informative, entertaining, helpful, agree, disagree? Comments, questions? Throw them in the comments. Let's talk about compost tea a little bit and anything else you may want to talk about. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.